Star is Born was terrible.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it.
Hang on.
If you ever wanted to see gaslighting on film,
It should be starting soon, so
Alright.
be careful with your words.
I'm trying to pay attention to Facebook. I have us on YouTube. I have us. Hi, YouTube! But we don't have the show sheet up or anything. So,
the right stuff. That's what I'm always humming in my head.
The white stuff.
I'm sorry. Your privilege doesn't belong
Your
here.
privilege does not belong here. Damn it, I forgot my little support all people of color pin, too.
I have one somewhere.
Everyone wants to buy that for me. And I'm like, no, my dad gave it to me. No.
Hi, YouTube.
Wow!
Facebook.
Wow! Oh.
Well.
I don't know what y'all just...
Hope my wife isn't watching yet.
Oh my god. You guys are awful.
If they could see that I was blushing, like I am. You can't see it, but I'm totally blushing.
I was like, wait, what's happening?
I was just drinking my juice.
That's fine. We keep things in the family.
We keep it in the family.
It's sexual.
Kentucky style.
It's
Kentucky
totally
Fried.
fine.
Yes.
Hold on. I'm trying to get the other one up so we can see the... Well, apparently something else is up, so... let me see.
Okay.
Oh, baby.
Oh, yeah?
Ooh, the titties look nice. Let me know you fixing my shit.
What's that?
I like these lights are making my face look very, like...
You look very
illuminated,
tan today.
heavenly.
I got a little bit of color.
It's because you're hanging around colored people.
Is that what it is?
Every day is Negro Day. Negro Day's the best.
How did I have this last week?
And
And why did she ask me that? I sent you the...
What?
I
Girl.
sent her my itinerary. Why is she asking me?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's coming through hair.
Okay, I don't know. You had that over there somewhere, but you had it so that we could see the chat, and then you had the show sheet on it so that we could...
Stop yelling at me!
Mommy, Daddy!
I'm just gonna drink my thing here.
And shout out to my block list. You won't see my tag in this, but you're probably watching because your friends told you to.
Or you're watching with your friends.
Or you're watching with your friends.
Oh, my.
Oh, wait, people are commenting already.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh, boy.
Hi, Ryan.
There we go.
Oh, Ryan's got the drinking game rules, so if anybody wants those, go ahead and... did you need your glasses?
What are the drinking
Oh,
game
God,
rules?
you can't... We're not supposed to know.
No, don't say what the drinking
Because
game
last,
Don't tell me,
last
yeah.
time they fucked up, and they told us what the rules
we
were.
stopped doing it.
So it made us
That's
more.
so funny.
It made us more conscious of what we were doing. So this time, don't tell us what it is. You can tell us after.
Please get drunk on
But,
our account.
they did
Thank
last
you.
They did last
Was
time.
this match?
Responsibly.
No,
Okay, good. Thanks.
She's trying to find hair. Ooh.
it's fine.
Like an
It's
old woman.
Right? You're like, hang on, is there? Oh, that's nice.
Here's a Coco secret, guys. I'm
So-
blind as a bat.
Last week, one of the things was yas, so I stopped saying yas.
Because right, which normally if you watch any other episode, it's like every
Yes.
3 seconds. So,
But
right.
I didn't.
Right,
Because
so
they
that
told
made
me.
us way more conscious of everything that we were doing. So, yeah. So this time they
I
can't. tell
bet.
us, so.
Don't tell me what the word is, but I bet it's triggered.
if
I bet anytime
if
we
anybody
say-
knows anything about our guest, that's going to be interesting. Speaking of our guest, we've got Coco Bardot with us tonight. Which is really, actually, it's kind of exciting because the 3 of us are leaving for Austin next week.
Where are we going?
Austin.
Oh, did I sign up for that?
Goodness.
Well, you did now.
Oh, great.
Wow.
I mean, you did the whole application process.
Right, the whole...
You
whole
signed
thing.
the contract that
Mm.
they sent us.
Mm.
Yeah, this thing had a whole contract. That was new for me.
How you know it was real?
That's how I knew it was legit.
They're fairly legit. Like the way they run
Yeah.
things. Like I said, it seems a little crazy behind the scenes, but it makes much more sense once you're actually there.
I figured they knew what the hell they were doing once they were like, yeah, sign this, girl. Sign your life away.
Yeah.
Or they
Perform
made you
for
sign
us.
another one. Are you sure?
Right.
That you're
They're like,
coming?
all right, well, we want you to sign this, and then we want you to sign this one that says that you're sure that you're coming. Oh hell! Hopefully,
let the games begin. Let's drink responsibly.
If y'all are playing the drinking game or you want to play the drinking game, message Ryan. Ryan will tell you what the rules are. We don't know what the rules are. Only Ryan knows what the rules are. Ryan will tell you what the rules are, and then you can play along at home. It's like Blue's Clues or something.
Oh, I missed that show.
I've never watched it. It was time.
Got my drink ready.
Do I need to turn this slightly?
Yeah.
That way so you can see.
Oh my god!
Oh, look.
Very hard. It's beautiful.
You didn't put any lips on.
Oh, I forgot.
Oh, god damn it.
I got some.
I can get up.
Just talk like this the whole time.
I did that the other week, remember? Uh-oh.
Did you lock yourself? We locked ourselves in. Oh, well. We're here forever!
I wore lip gloss for the first time in years, and I remember why I stopped wearing lip gloss.
And everything sticks to it.
On my hair.
All the things.
Just did it again. Did it again.
So, welcome to season 7, episode 3? 4. I was like, I didn't change that. Episode 4 of season 7. Felicia is currently not here. She is putting
her life together.
Because this is new. We've never done this before.
This is who we are!
And for those of you that are just joining us, I am Freddy Prinze Charming. With me is Coco Bardot.
What's up, bitches?
And we talk about more than just drag gossip. We actually talk about issues that matter, which is cool. So welcome to Let's Have a Fefe. It is your Wednesday night conversation brought to you by Shelly Love Creative at ShellyLoveCreative.com, WigsOfAkind.com, and TheBurlyBarbers.com. Uh-oh.
That was very good.
They're already drinking, so I don't know what happened.
What do we say?
I don't know. Something happened and they're already drinking. Oh, God.
Is it cunty? I don't know. Is cunty the word?
And we couldn't do this without our Patreon supporters.
Because I wasn't on time.
Brandon McGill, Carrie McClemens, Leanne Dunton, Patricia Mason, and Molly Montgomery.
Oh, you fucked up somebody's name.
I know. I'm just fumbling.
Usually it's me.
I know. I'm just fumbling. If you would like to support us on Patreon, we do have plans for the funds coming in from that. You can find us at patreon.com.
After we get back from Austin.
After we get back from Austin. We have so much.
Y'all are doing more at Austin than me.
Man.
I'm just getting on stage and looking pretty.
I'm hosting.
So what happened was I signed up and he just said, just come along. And I said, okay, I'll just sign up for a couple numbers. Then as we go along, somebody says, oh, let's do a workshop. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's do a workshop. And then he's like, well, you could go for this, and this. I'm like, you already doing too much, boo.
So in Austin, I'm actually facilitating 2 panels, plus Felicia and I have a very special Let's Have a Fefe that's going to be broadcast that Saturday.
As soon as I find out the time and all that,
it's from 12 to 1:30, I believe.
Fefe, you're looking beautiful tonight.
I was painted by the lovely Coco Bardot.
I'm not patting my own shoulder, but
Oh my god. So what have you been up to this last week or so, Coco?
Me? Gosh, my life is full of packing tape and bubble wrap and boxes.
Oh, it sounds like a pageant.
Right.
And yeah.
That's about right.
Yeah, a lot of packing tape. We are, as of yesterday, 30 days out.
You know what? Fuck you!
Tiny violin.
Fuck you!
Tiny violin. 30 days out from moving to Denver. Yes! Besides...
Jen, do you have the rules? Sorry.
I keep saying drink cups.
Yeah, they're telling us when they're drinking.
I think I know what it is, but I'm not going to say... I don't know.
Anyway. Because it changes, so yeah. I don't know.
It's different every week depending on our guests.
So you're packing. You also got a baby that you're prepping for.
Honey, we are 11 weeks pregnant as of tomorrow. Yeah. 11 weeks.
Jesus.
I love that I get excited every
We actually have the appointment Tuesday where we might find out the gender. We're not sure if we're going to,
reveal this.
Reveal it. Listen, some of y'all are too much on Facebook and, don't understand the singular they and keep trying to wish twins on us. We don't want that. I've been trying.
Wait, that's a 2 drinks.
That's
what
a 2 drinker.
Is
it all shit?
Mike is just helping me.
He's just egging it on to make us all nervous. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh god.
There's gonna be a lot of that and
a whole lot of egging on, a lot of yasing.
Oh hell.
Yeah, 11 weeks and we're getting.
Why is yas on the list again? If I figure this out.
I don't think that
it's not yas.
I don't think it is.
It's okay. Else. I'll just keep saying it.
Cunty. That's what I think it is. Or triggered. Is it just Coco? Because that's not even fair.
Oh my God, no. I don't
Let's
think so.
say Coco.
So,
Coco,
Felicia,
Coco, Coco.
what have you been doing this weekend? Anything?
What did I do this week? I'm having one of your meals.
Oh!
I'd rather not say.
Oh.
I don't know.
You don't know what you did? I had to think about it. I had to go actually back through my calendar to figure out what the fuck I did this weekend. Whoopsie.
Sorry.
Well.
I don't remember. I know that I'm here.
Okay, well then I've actually been prepping for Austin for a minute because, like I said, I'm facilitating 2 panels, which I'm really excited about. One is called Gender Blending: Why Kings Don't Have to Be Butch, which I'm kind of excited about.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is Transgender Voices in Drag, which has to do with transitioning.
I'm just gonna lean
transgender entertainers, which there's been a little bit of flack about. Why aren't you including all the trans umbrella? And I'm like, because the experiences are different, and this is specifically about folks that are transitioning. And we hear things that are like with the Kings, it's if you're gonna compete in a pageant, you have the upper hand because blah blah blah, or what you're doing isn't really drag because you're a boy and blah blah blah. So it's things,
my whole career,
right?
Weird.
So it's things like that. That's why it's
Are
not.
you on the piano?
That's why it's not the whole trans umbrella. That's why it's specifically for transitioning entertainers. But it'll be cool because it'll bring a little bit of visibility to that. And then Felicia and I, like I said, are doing a special Let's Have a Fefe on the Saturday.
One day we should do that locally.
Right?
I don't know how we would do it because we'd have to have it so you could hear us. We couldn't do it in like a full bar.
Right. Yeah, it'd be different. I sent in my early ballot, and on
How mad
Friday,
are we? Are we good? Anybody mad
No.
from yesterday?
We'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
We'll get to that. That's not yet.
Oh.
And then Friday I went to a wine tasting in Gilbert, which
I saw
is
that.
It was way the out there.
Oh, that's close to me.
Jeez, no, it was far. No,
It was farther.
no. There's if you're going on the 202, there's a Higley Road.
Yeah.
And then there's another Higley Road.
Oh.
Yeah, it was an hour drive.
Hi, Vivica.
Like, it was the fuck out there. But it was good. It was at the Garage East, which is owned by a pair of local winemakers. And it was all Arizona wine. That was all the Arizona winemakers. A lot of them are from Sonoyta. And it's a really cool little area. You have Garage East, which has local wine. There's a couple little restaurants that are like next to it. And it's just a really cool little like localist place. And then Saturday, I don't know what the fuck I did. I feel like I did something, but I don't know what.
Work.
Probably. Oh yes, I worked on Saturday.
I only remember that because you said something.
Right, and then
on a great party
Sunday,
so did I.
my partner and I and her daughter hiked up North Mountain, which is literally 5 minutes away from my partner's new house, and No.
Not the tiny house?
No. Her new house. Her new
Okay,
house.
I was like, tiny house?
Which is great. It's about a mile and a half up to the top, which was fine. It was a sunset hike, but then on the way back it got dark real quick. So we're trying to maneuver, and it's pretty steep. Lots of rocks and loose rocks and shit. So we're trying to like come down this mountain and not die. But it was good.
I'm glad you took pictures at the top, then.
Right?
Yeah, it was beautiful.
No, it was fun. It was good. So I actually got to do a couple of things.
When's the last time anybody's heard from him? Oh, the timestamps.
Right.
He took a picture at this time.
Right. So yeah, that's what I did. Should we move right into the tip then?
Yeah, we're about right on time.
Move right into my tip.
Oh.
I'll move my tip in.
We're gonna get drunk fast.
Oh God! What the hell? Oh shit!
Boy. I told him not to send it to me until after.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do
you
that.
read that enough? Or do
Yeah,
you
no, I think it. I may need to scooch things over just a little bit. All right, so because a lot of times I sort of try to tailor my tips to depending on who our guest is. So this evening, my tip is not really a tip; it's more of a discussion point. It's about having kids in the LGBTQ community, and that's not like kids within the LGBT. That's literally having children,
Birthing them.
like birthing them, like having kids in your family It's actually really, really hard. I don't know if you realize this. I actually had to research shit. It's incredibly difficult to get an accurate number of how many like LGBTQ parents there are in the U.S. right now because
it's growing.
No, because people still stay closeted. They keep their status a secret because they don't. Why is that not muted? What are you doing?
Just keep talking.
It's interesting. Like I was Googling everything, and all I got were estimates and general numbers.
Well, every time you say kids, you gonna drink?
That's his own rules.
Oh.
So, here's a few statistics for you, just to throw this out there. As of August 2017, there are approximately between 2 and 3.7 million kids under 18 that have an LGBTQ parent.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's anybody that falls within that spectrum. So it could be a bisexual parent. It could be...
Is that non-binary?
Anything that falls under that umbrella, basically. And mind you, that's an approximation because, again, it's hard to get an accurate number when people are not disclosing their status.
Yeah.
That it is what it is. Approximately 200,000 of those are being raised by either gay or lesbian parents. So if you take out the rest of the alphabet soup.
Alphabet soup.
That's what it is. Approximately 2 million gay, lesbian, and bisexual parents are interested in adopting. And LGBTQ people and couples are 6 times more likely to foster, 4 times more likely to adopt than their non-LGBTQ counterparts. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Right now, there are about 65,500 adopted kids living with gay, lesbian, or bisexual parents. About 16,000 of those are in California, which is the majority. Like, that's the biggest concentration, which is kind of cool. And it's even harder to get information on transgender families with children.
Why is that?
There's a shit ton of info on trans kids, but nothing about trans parents. And again, it has to do with either living stealth, not disclosing, shit like that. And then you have parents that are trans but maybe don't transition until later, and that, you know what I mean? So it kind of screws up the numbers. So I looked all over the place to find data on trans parents that have kids, and there's like nothing. I couldn't find anything. Just general shit. So it was like, meh. Hey, Michelle.
Oh, wow, I haven't seen her in a while.
Right?
Did she move?
Now...
Where'd you move to, Michelle?
I don't know. So the thing is that what sucks is that if you are in a lesbian relationship or if you are in a gay relationship, and whether you are trans man with a cis man or 2 trans men or whatever it is, the chances of you being able to create your own child naturally is very slim. Yeah. If you're lucky and you're in, if you're 2 trans people that are in a relationship and one of you happens to be a trans woman and the other one happens to be a trans man, you're both pre-op, and you can do it that way, that's fucking fantastic. Like, that's awesome. I think that's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't mainstream blow that up a couple years ago?
Yeah. There's been
a few
things.
I was in middle school.
Yeah, there's been a few things. I'm like, whatever. Like, I think it's awesome, but there's a good majority of LGBTQ couples that can't have children the sort of natural way for one reason. Well, when I say can't, I meant the couples.
Limitations.
2 V's don't make a B, baby.
Right. I mean, technically, if you wanted to have it naturally, you could, but that would require sometimes pushing boundaries that people aren't willing to push. So, So, the costs involved, and this is why it's it's so hard. Like, it's not just, oh, you want a baby, just go out and do it. Like, it doesn't work that way. If you're looking at adoption.
Hi, Lauren.
If you're looking at adoption, domestic adoption usually runs around $40,000.
Whoa.
Yep.
And that's if you're lucky and Like that's
If you're the rich gays.
ugh. Like it's yeah. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't have $40,000 hanging around.
Oh, come
Not
on.
whatsoever.
Like I don't. I
At all.
don't.
I
Surrogacy,
wish.
which is an option a lot of times, depending. I mean, that's an option obviously for straight couples as well, and heteronormative couples as well. But surrogacy is often fairly popular with gay men. They get a surrogate, use one of their sperm, and boom, there you go. The cost of surrogacy,
Just like that.
right? The cost of surrogacy for everything usually runs between $100,000 and $150,000.
Hey, Jesus.
It ain't cheap.
To do in vitro, which is the colloquial term for in vitro, is a test tube baby. Basically, they pull the egg, they get the sperm, they put it in a test tube, they shake it up, and then put it back in. That usually runs between $12,000 and $15,000.
Sickening.
IUI, which is basically when you get donor sperm, you go to a fertility clinic, the fertility clinic gets a sample, gets a thing, and then they stick it up there. That depending
With
on...
the sound effects? Oh,
Yes.
God.
Depending on the clinic, depending on the cost of the donor, all that good stuff can run anywhere between $7,000 and $10,000.
Whoa. Why do these all have commas?
Yeah.
The cheapest in the city is Southwest Fertility Center, by the way.
And they're not that cheap.
And they're not that cheap.
They're not that cheap. We've called.
We went through...
Like, fuck.
I went through the whole situation
Not
with them.
cheap. Like, that's... And saying it's cheap, we're talking still multiple thousands of dollars.
The
Like,
cheapest.
and then to buy donor sperm and a home kit to do it costs usually around $1,200 to $1,500 because
My goodness.
the donor sperm,
Our baby daddy's
depending-
$900.
right? Like depending on the
the baby cocktail.
depending on the type of sperm, so it depends on who the donor is, whether they're somebody that is in high demand, because you can tell. Like, if they're running low on sperm because they're in high demand, that jacks the price up.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
There's
for sure.
a lot of successes behind it.
It jacks the price right up.
Average. So if they have a high success rate, people are like, "Oh, I'm going for that."
But there's always going to be limited amount. So if they're running low, that's going to
let me know
push
if I'm
it up as
popular.
well.
I'll show up every day.
If they're like finding ethnic minorities are in high demand often because they don't like it, and thousands of donors that you find at a fertility clinic or at a thing at like a cryo bank, right? Out of the thousands, you're only gonna find maybe half a dozen.
Dang.
Of the ethnic minorities, and that includes anybody that is of color, and including gingers. That, yeah.
That's a minority?
Yeah. There are not a lot of ginger
donating.
No.
Why do I know so many?
Like, there's not a lot of ginger donors out there.
Nope.
It's, yeah. Yeah. It's,
We just laughed at the same one.
Yeah. And that
My
was,
glasses.
$1,200 for just the initial visit and blood test.
Jesus.
Right. It's not cheap. And insurance, a lot of people's insurance don't even cover fertility treatments. Sometimes they'll reimburse you.
I thought they were getting better at that.
Sometimes they'll reimburse you for some of it, but like it won't cover, or it'll cover some of it, but not all of it. And it's still like, it's ridiculous. And like for say a trans man wants to buy donor sperm to use with his partner. He's not allowed to use his HSA card for that, or his insurance for that, even though technically it's his problem. But because it's going to be used on his partner,
like a person that has like erectile dysfunction.
I don't have erectile dysfunction.
But I didn't say that you did. I'm just saying.
If it was a cisgender man who had
like a low
something
count,
that could be different, but for a trans man, you can't do it.
But it's almost saying the same.
But it's not, because the product isn't there to begin with.
Yeah.
So that's the whole.
You have
thing.
an existing condition,
right? I have a pre-existing condition that's been there forever.
Drink is it cis? Is that the word?
I don't
Sorry.
know. So.
Oh my gosh! What did I do? What happened?
Well, God.
Oh my God! They're coming out of
now
nowhere.
They're drinking.
Right?
Oh God.
Wait, I'm sorry.
That's awkward.
And then
somebody is asking on YouTube. It costs money to have a kid? ?
Oh yeah, like you don't just go and say I want that kid and then take it. Like to get a kid, it costs about $40,000 to adopt. You have to go if you're doing it legitimately, and you go through the adoption agency. You pay the adoption agency. It's up to $40,000 to be able to adopt a kid. You just don't get one for free. Like you don't just go. Oh,
I can just picture my mom being like, "I adopted you. Can I get my money back?"
Right. Here's your bill. You know.
Thanks, Mom
and
Dad.
What's interesting is even within the LGBTQ community, you still have the stigmas that are surrounding pregnancy and kids and things. Like, you know, you're expected to have kids before 30. And God forbid you have kids around 35 because that's a geriatric pregnancy and we can't do that.
Or the feminine appearing lesbian must be the one to get pregnant.
Yes, you must be the one to carry. Because if you're the one that's not feminine, then you really shouldn't be having a baby because that's just weird.
It wasn't, like, hurtful to hear it a lot. Oh, it's not you? When, you know, we announced the pregnancy, but it also, like, reminded me, oh, yeah, still can't get pregnant myself, so thanks for reminding me, guys.
Don't say idiotic things like
that. It didn't take it offensively. It was just, you know, everyone assumed because I wear the dresses that I'm the one.
But it's like that. But we're trying to get away from that stupid shit. Like we're trying to get away from that shit. You know what I mean? It's like why are you stereotyping things? Like that just doesn't. It's fucking dumb.
I've got a full-on drink in my hand. Wait, you're the one that's not pregnant? Dust shot. No.
Right? I'm double fisting Fireball. Does it look like I'm fucking
That's
pregnant?
what my mother asked me, too.
Baby step.
And then for trans parents, then you get how are you going to explain to the kid that you're trans? And is that healthy? And should you tell them? And la 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 la. It's
my God.
Same way my daddy explained to me that he was illegal. He didn't have to.
It doesn't fucking matter?
Doesn't matter.
If it comes up and there's something, I mean, like for me, okay, and personally, this is something that we've talked about because we've talked about having kids, and my partner has a daughter, and whatever. And it's one of these things where it's like, okay, so, like, if we have a kid ourselves, we've decided that we'll tell them eventually when they need to be told. It doesn't, you know, we're not going to wait till they're 40 and be like, so...
Remember that day when you walked in the bathroom, you're like, what the fuck?
Right. The fact of the matter is that at some point, someone's going to see somebody naked. Or someone's going to see something like... Because I don't hide shit. Like, I have my baby pictures up on my wall. I don't hide anything. You know, I don't keep my shirt on if we're swimming. I have top surgery scars. You know what I mean? And at some point, people are going to ask questions. Kids are going to ask questions because that's what they do. And when they ask, then we'll tell them. And I know that with my partner's daughter, it'll be one of these things, well, we'll tell her, and she'll go, wait, so...
And she'll ask.
And she'll go through the whole thing, and she'll be like,
oh, that's funny, I didn't know she didn't know.
No.
Yeah, okay.
And she'll process the whole thing in her head, and she'll be like, oh, okay. Okay, and then she'll just carry on because it doesn't fucking matter.
Because the sky is still blue, the grass is still green.
Kids don't give a fuck. And
You're
frankly, it's none of your business what I tell my kids or how I tell them. So, yeah.
Can we stop having people be like, oh, you have kids? Like, gay people,
shocker.
People can have kids now, too.
They can?
Just so you know. Hopefully you know.
Just a fun fact, if you're a veteran, the VA, if you're female, I should say, so how we went through our
cis female or trans female?
See, cis female. I don't know. But yeah, if you're a female lesbian veteran, the VA actually covers everything except for the price of the sample itself. So our baby daddy was about $900. Thank you, number 10645.
Now everybody's like, ooh.
Right.
But, yeah, go through your local VA. Fix them brawls, I do this. But, yeah, go through your VA, see how they can help you out, because me and Des did it at home. We tried at home with our homeboy down the street.
Not me.
No, not
we
tried at home with a friend, or with, you know, a close friend that we asked.
But not the, like, y'all was like, here, take this cup, and then you turkey basted it, right?
Yeah, if y'all want to consider, like, asking a friend to do this, like, make sure all the awkwardness is out of the room. Because, like, the first couple times I can get through it because I laughed and giggled. There's something about knowing your best friend is whacking it in the next room for you that kind of makes you not in the mood. Weird! So,
hey, Roxy.
Yeah, make sure you vet the people and, like, get over the awkwardness of doing it at home. We did it through a facility. It was all female run, Southwest Fertility Center. All female run, and they loved you and they were looking out for you until the pregnancy test didn't work, and then they wanted more money. So that sucked.
Of course.
And then the VA did it, and we had a successful.
It's fucking expensive. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah. So know your options.
Fuck. Yeah.
Well, you tell that child.
We've done it all.
Paid,
honey.
you.
We paid a lot for you.
Right.
You best love, mama.
So let's see. Current events. So we had the midterm election yesterday, which so here's the thing. Is I know that folks were disappointed that we didn't turn the Senate blue as well, but here's the thing: is that we did turn the House blue. House has interesting powers. They have the power of subpoena. They have all sorts of things that they can do. And
hey, Roxy.
Drinks are coming out.
No,
what do we say? Is it vote?
Know.
Is it election?
Oh God.
Is the word election?
Oh God. Is it vote? Is it vote? Is it vote? Is it
midterm.
Vote? Midterm. Election. Vote.
Ah, shit. Is it midterm election? Is that
the Y'all gonna be drunk tonight.
Shit.
I guess I'll drink.
Right. So here's the thing: is that there's been a lot of shit. But first of all, I'm just gonna say this has been a very, very.
This is like the first time that I felt like the midterm results were like watching like a sports game. You're like, who's coming out on top?
For me, it
Where
felt
were
like
you in 2016?
Right, that's what it felt like for me. Is watching.
I mean,
the whole,
2016 was not as bad as
that was
this.
like
what?
I'm. Why are you guys yelling at me? I have a right to say whatever I fucking want to say, and I can press the stop button. Y'all, you okay with that? God damn, jumped out my neck. What I felt like was that we were watching this more closely. Like, people were actually going to vote and actually paying attention to what was being said and who they were voting for. That's what I mean by that. I think that people actually paid attention, like people being in lines for 2 hours.
Right, and we have what was 100 women elected now?
Mm-hmm.
100 women
2016
elected.
scared us so much. Everyone came out.
100 women and a shit ton of minorities. We've got Muslims now. We've got black women. We've got
Native
Muslim women. We've got Native Americans. I mean, it's amazing. Like this election, and here's okay. It's like
bring on the women.
I think it's fucking amazing.
Bisexuals, lesbians,
dude, and we've got we have gays in office. We have all these
Congrats,
things.
Colorado!
Now like,
hey,
yeah, they're drinking out of the bottle.
Oh shit!
That surprised me.
Drinking bottle.
Bree, you drinking out of the bottle?
So
with a straw.
Here's the thing though, is even though things didn't go as the way that a lot of us wanted it to go, we still made massive strides yesterday in a lot of ways. And
I thought you were saying something.
And Evelyn, if you want to see what we're seeing, you have to go onto Facebook. That's where the chat is happening. If you follow us on Facebook and watch the live feed there.
Oh, the drinking game.
Right, it's a drinking game. So here's the thing though, is for me, yes, I would have preferred it if everybody had just voted blue and been done with it.
Crazy?
But the thing is that regardless of whether people are voting blue, red, or green, or whatever it is, at least they voted.
Don't shut down the green people.
That's the thing, is that you can't shame somebody for voting not the way that you wanted them to.
It's like playing Plinko and
right.
then taking your little chip and throwing it behind you.
Right. Like did we want everybody to vote Democrat?
Yes.
Absolutely we did. But the thing is it...
Sometimes Democrat isn't always the best.
The thing is, and this is what I keep saying, is that the two-party system is broken. And both parties are shit right now. Because here's the thing, is that when we vote... when we vote, generally we vote on one or two key factors. So, you know, whether this candidate supports our social issues or whether this candidate, you know, supports our economic issues or whatever that is, that's where we tend to focus our thing.
Jump the sakes.
And Bernie Green?
He was green. He ran as a Democrat because he knew that's where he would get
his
and that's right, and that's
traction
right, and that's what a lot of candidates are starting to do. They realize that they need to get in as one of the major two parties, which is dumb as fuck. And Democrats aren't perfect, so anybody that thinks that Democrats are going to fix everything, they're not going to fix everything. They may be more in line with things like some of the social issues and some of the economic issues, but there's still going to be war. There's still going to be the, you know, America being the world police and shit like that. And the Democrats are not going to change that. They're not. It's just what's going to happen. So it's...
There she is.
When we say, like, we don't want to say that we're voting for the lesser of two evils, because that's not really what it is. It's what it is we vote with the party or the candidate who most closely aligns with our values. Yeah. And that's not to say they're going to align with all of our values, because
there were some people I read, I was like, oof.
There are even
tough one.
But the thing is that it doesn't matter.
Judge.
It doesn't matter who you are. It's, you know, you may not even agree with all of your friends' values. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. But they're your friend because, as a whole, you agree with most of
Michael, we talk about this stuff on all the time.
Hell no, we ain't voting for Nazis. That's right, Corinne.
Right.
Corey.
So, so, you know, but don't shame somebody for voting green. Because there's
that
still
was a little bit obnoxious today.
I understand that in 2016, right? In 2016, Hillary could have won had the independent or the green votes gone that way. And statistically speaking, if there isn't a green option, the Democrats usually get that vote.
But my problem with that is if they don't make somebody...
It's hard. It's one of these things where...
It's almost like being at the Grammy Awards and you only nominated these two, and then you're saying, well, that person should have won.
Right, but...
Sorry, Beyonce.
Beyonce's got the best video all the time!
It's really... And this is the problem, and this is where we need to figure out how to fix this, because...
Let the independent people be...
They need to be there. There needs to be... Honestly, the party system just needs to go away. Mm. It's antiquated and it's outdated, and it doesn't do anybody any damn good.
Do you think we should just have an equal playing field?
There doesn't need to be parties, because who the fuck cares? If a person... It should be based on a person's platform and...
Like a value or a moral system?
Right, and not even that. It's, hey, vote for me. This is what I would like to do. This is what I stand for.
I have not turned on the TV.
I don't like that, so let me see what this person says. This person says, hey, vote for me. This is what I would like to do. Here's a 10-year plan. This is my... Oh, okay, I like that. That's good, but... All right, you're on the top of my list. Let me see what this other person over here says. So it's one of these things where parties shouldn't fucking matter. Mm-hmm. It really shouldn't. Not at this point. And, like, there are... 200 years ago, when this country was what it was,
let's make it that again.
It wasn't even that. There was a completely different idea. Like, the Electoral College was put in place because
I don't know the results for the McSally race.
Things to do with population and everything being so spread out, and it's ridiculous. And then the people forget the Republican Party, what it is now is not what it used to be. What it is now is thoroughly twisted and broken, and the Republican Party now is this ugly, ugly thing full of hate. They are...
It's radical. It's very radical.
It's very... I don't know what happened.
People feel brazen to show their ass.
And they forget that...
So Corey says, I would love to see actual plans instead of attack ads.
And I think
that
attack
was my thing.
I think attack ads should be banned. I think they should be illegal.
I mean, it's totally okay that someone had a ad video that had their infant child building a wall.
Right? Like, for fuck's sake. And the Republicans who are now anti-welfare, anti-government assistance, they forget that it was Teddy Roosevelt, who was a Republican, who actually set up the whole welfare thing.
Mm-hmm.
He did that. And at one point, the Republicans were the people, were the party for the people. And now they're just the party for the old white dudes.
Oh.
And I don't know...
Cis white dudes.
And I don't know what happened. Somewhere in there, things got twisted, and it was really not okay.
So Joan says the election was terrible here.
It was awful.
Vivica on YouTube is saying,
I
know that's probably autocorrect, but you never understood the Electoral College. I think that is a system that totally... something needs to happen there, because I don't feel like I'm represented in no way, form, or fashion when I look at some of that stuff. I'm like, what? No. Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Or they need to explain how they come up with it in plain language so that everybody knows. I think the reason why people got so upset and flustered and were at the polls this time is because they felt like they were slighted the last time.
Right.
And they honestly were like, okay, well, this is...
And something else that I don't think should happen during, even whether it's midterms, whether it's anything, any election, I don't think that results should be posted at all until every single vote has been counted. Because if you're sitting there, and you could be standing in line, and you could be looking, and being like, oh, well, let's see, this person is
that much
further. I'll just either that, or I'll just go home.
Or they kept showing the predictions. I was like, don't do that.
Like, it needs to just not like...
Well, it was on the morning news. They were like, this person's projected to win. I'm like...
I was like, really? Because polls opened 15 minutes ago.
I'm like, okay.
Like, really? It's... The entire system is absolutely fucking broken. All of it. And it needs a complete overhaul. It's not going to happen anytime soon. It's not. But there needs to be something... And I'm hoping that with more progressive people, more minorities, more women, more people that are hopefully more focused on what they can actually do to create some change. I'm hoping that with more people like that, that eventually we'll start seeing a shift.
Another topic that was brought up when I was on Twitter this afternoon.
The predictions do nothing.
Was a lot of people were talking about how in their area they felt like there was a lot of voter suppression or oppression. You correct me if I'm wrong. But
were there a lot of reported cases here?
Not here, but like in Georgia.
Yeah.
Some
areas. Georgia's fucked up.
They got extended 3 hours.
Yeah, so I think that across the board, no matter what state you're in, they should just have solid rules and say this is what happens, this is how it's reported, and whoever the recorder is needs to be more, the person that's the recorder here in is it the state was a lot more responsible, kind of ish. But if you have a problem at the polls, do not be afraid to call people.
No, you report that shit.
Post it on social media so other people don't go there. I kept seeing that. I kept seeing, don't go to this one, go to this one.
Right.
So I think that's what led to, them fixing it. It wasn't them fixing it. It was us fixing it because we decided to go, okay, well, we won't go to that one. We'll go to this one.
I wish there was a way to have, like, impartial third-party people man the polls. You know what I mean? Like,
it's all volunteer work, isn't it?
Right, but it's like...
No, you get paid.
Oh,
but it's like... I don't know. After the last few elections, I don't trust anybody. I don't. And...
I get my at-home ballot and drop it when I do it.
And I don't trust
and I checked the website to make sure that my thing was there.
But even then, like, I don't know. Like, there's been... And
I wish I got an alert through my email or something.
This is... And the problem is that the last few elections have been so fucked up. Like,
shady bitch.
it's supposed to be... The one thing that bothers me is, that especially with the whole electoral college, is this is supposed to be a democracy. Democracy, democracy, democracy. That's what we preach.
Mm-hmm.
Democracy, democracy, democracy.
Scream it from the rooftop.
Now, in a democracy, say we're a democracy. I say, hey, I think I would like to go get a coconut smoothie.
Uh-huh.
And we say, well, let's take a vote on it. And I say yes.
Fuck that.
No.
Okay, well, y'all said no, but I said yes. So that means yes. So we're all going to go get a coconut smoothie. That's the problem with the Electoral College.
That's how Donald Trump got elected.
We value
Bush
your
as well.
opinion, but here's what we're going
Right.
to do.
It's like, thanks for that. I appreciate that.
The people in your district heard what you said
But
and
here's
said,
what's going to happen.
but I'm voting for this guy.
Right. Like, it's a mess. And that shouldn't, like...
It was
popular vote
horrible
should be
before
popular
Bush,
vote.
Ryan. It was horrible before
Like,
Bush.
it's steadily just been getting worse and worse and worse. And it is. It's fucking... Right. And that's exactly what it is. And it has to do with uneducated poor people. It has to
does
do
that
with...
help you understand?
When the population was so...
Dense and
spread... No,
small?
it was so spread out.
Oh, okay.
So you'd have folks all over the place. And...
Oh, so those people would be like, hey, what's your vote over there?
Right, so, it's when the population was different, and so you had these sort of representatives to represent you, and...
But I thought the college was supposed to change when, based on the population of that area.
Yeah.
So the numbers don't change.
The way you're saying, it's not changing.
No.
Oh.
That's the problem.
Huh.
It's outdated and unnecessary at this point.
Voting machine errors in Texas and Georgia.
There's voting machine
Makes
errors
a lot of
all
sense.
over the place, and...
None in Florida? No?
It's one of these
Gillen
things
didn't-
where,
didn't win?
like, it would be great if there are, like, actual issues...
I'm
Shit
waiting
needs to
for
be
Georgia.
tossed out.
Mhm.
Needs to be fucking tossed out. Start over. Because...
Were there any issues that you were looking forward to? Oh gosh. Women without a college education are 3 times likely to vote Republican.
Correct. And a lot of times the
Why
women...
is that?
You know why?
Because daddy. Sorry.
Either daddy or their husband.
Daddy
And
or
that's
husband.
exactly it. It was the uneducated white women that got Trump in office. Because 9 times out of 10, their husband says, I'm voting for Trump. Okay, I'm not voting for Trump too.
Oh, that happened since the last time we were on.
Right. So it's... They... And because they are uneducated, they don't know to actually research it. Like, when you hear some of these women talk, because, when they go around and they interview some of these people that are standing at Trump rallies and stuff like that, and you're like, really? 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 It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Which is...
What?
Yeah. The funding of public education. And there's so many things, and everything...
Why is this? I feel like you spend all this money on education, but excuse my language, but the stupid asses and the ignorant asses are the ones that are winning here. How do we push the more educated vote then?
Well,
it's not the dummies that are winning, unfortunately.
Well, right. Here's
the dummies voting for them.
Oh, here's the thing: is that
in the nice way, dummies. Sorry.
a lot of the more, especially when it comes to higher education and things like that, a lot of those folks are still they're starting to lean more towards either the Independent Party, the Green Party, or the Libertarian Party. And the Libertarian Party, in concept, is great.
Mm-hmm.
They tend to be... A lot of libertarians call themselves libertarians, and they're Republicans in disguise.
Oy.
But if you're a real libertarian, most of them, their general philosophy is live and let live.
Mm-hmm.
So their whole thing is government is unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
But there's reasoning behind it. But it's these things like, okay, so if you want to have 15 guns, perfect. You have 15 guns. But don't use them to hurt anybody. You want to be gay and have 16 wives? Phenomenal. As long as what you're doing... As long as whatever you do is consensual and doesn't infringe on anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole thing there. But it's one of these things where the libertarians are a lot of the people
Did you read that
who
one?
economical deterrence from getting a higher education isn't there.
Explain yourself. I don't really understand that one.
I'm not understanding your question either, Micah. And that just could just be me. I'm tired. But the libertarians, a lot of libertarians refuse to vote. And the reason they refuse to vote is because they won't vote for the lesser of two evils. They won't vote for somebody that only supports some of the shit.
Oh,
like,
POC
they refuse...
have less representation.
Tuition-free college.
Right.
Oh, I wish we had tuition-free college. I'm trying to go back to school.
There's... God, the tuition-free college...
Y'all typing too fast. Hold on.
Right.
Wait, let's go back. Okay, so Bree says...
Yep, Martha McSally voted to get rid of Pell Grants.
She did?
Why
is she trying to fuck with my shit for?
Fuck
her!
This is what I'm saying. Like, this is so...
I'm just gonna walk by her and say, fuck you!
Right? Like, it's just so
trying to go to school.
fucking... It's ridiculous. This country
People
is fucking
of color
broken.
have less representation.
And there are people... Like, there are other countries that have their own political issues and things like that. But
I think
we are, like, excessively fucked up. So, Bree says, the POC heavy districts often have less representation and are less spaced out than the wealthy, white, prominent, populated areas. So the wealthy cis population will have more representation based on those district lines, which is absolutely true.
Like the projects?
Absolutely.
Big
POCs
cities.
always get the shit end of the deal. And then was it Minnesota that... Oh, who was it?
What do we need to look at?
I'm thinking it was Minnesota that they now passed it where natives can't vote unless they have a street address.
Yeah.
But on the reservation, they don't give you a street
What?
address.
They don't even do that
That's
here.
voter suppression right there.
Mm-hmm.
Natives, 9 times out of 10, if you live on a reservation, you do not have an actual street address. You have a P.O. box.
That's
what they give you.
North Dakota.
North Dakota. It was something like that. It was Minnesota, North Dakota, something like that. And it was, no, that's right, North Dakota. So, yeah, there you go. You want to vote, that's fantastic, but you have to have a street address. Sorry. Which means that just knocked out a whole... Like, why? What? In what scenario is that even remotely okay? Like, we're going to steal the land from these people,
but just
give them a reservation, and then be like, yeah, sorry, you
just
can't
like I
vote
said
now.
the last time, cisgender males that are white, that think they're entitled, get away with things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's driving me crazy.
Bree says that's why old rich people win the vote, because they focus on elderly prominent interests like Medicaid instead of education funding, which is exactly right.
That's what kept showing up on our TV.
Right, is like, all the old people that were like the one on Hulu.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, young people, don't vote. You don't need to. We got this.
I was like, excuse you.
But they're not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And election after election keeps proving that. The baby boomers are the ones that are hardcore.
How many years left in there?
This. Like, it's,
I don't know. I'm ready for them to get on.
Are they dead yet? Like, come on.
Get off. Get
Wrap
off.
it up and go.
And like my dad is gonna be 82 next year.
But he does not live in the state.
He's an old white dude. He doesn't live here. He lives in Michigan, and he votes Democrat. Believe it or not.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He hates Trump with a passion.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
It's not hard to do.
Oh, speaking of Mr. Orange Bronzer, so all day yesterday I kept watching, and everybody kept saying he has the lowest approval rating since like Harry Truman. I think
so. Yeah.
During the Great Depression.
I mean, that's really
hard
work that you're doing.
He's the best at something. He's the best at being the worst. Hey.
So
he might have
this afternoon.
I don't know.
So if you guys, I will find it because he argued with somebody. What was the reporter?
That train wreck.
Yeah, and then he started the whole thing by saying he was the best.
Oh God.
Everybody approves of me.
It was CNN. It was a reporter from CNN.
Yes,
called him
Acosta.
out for. It was the reporter from CNN asked him if he feels like he emboldened white supremacists after he said he was a nationalist.
And you should have saw me. I'm trying to work and have the little window open. I'm like,
and then there was a, I believe there was a black reporter who said something similar, and he called her a racist.
Bitch, I was.
Oh, is that political gaslighting? Weird.
Excuse me.
Did you see that? Oh.
It was an angel.
Oh, wow.
It was, like, fucking shit show. Oh, and Jeff Sessions is now gone. Are we playing bingo? Like, is there, like, a bingo card with all of, like, his cabinet people that are, like, disappearing?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was excited when I saw that. I was like,
don't be, because he's going to put somebody else in his place.
Yeah.
Which means whoever's in his place is going to be even more of a monkey ass.
So I
like
Sessions
monkeys.
wasn't the anonymous op-ed writer?
Also, the house you live in dictates what schools your child can go. So, what? Oh, so you know what? There's something on Netflix about this.
Yes.
About, like, the property value and what school you go to.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Y'all
We're actually one of the... Arizona is one of the few places where... kids actually have the option to go to almost any school they want. They'll actually bus them anywhere, which is really kind of cool. However,
but they still
it also means that if you're in, if you're a white person in a predominantly sort of POC type neighborhood, you can bus your kid to a more white neighborhood, a more white school, which then brings down all, like, it's this which... On the one hand, it's great that they have
it's
the
social
choice.
Economics, and people don't realize that they're doing it.
Right. Like, it's...
That's the sad part.
I mean, on the one hand, it's great that kids can go to school wherever they want, if they... But the problem is that creates other issues within it. Like, in Seattle, you could be literally across the street from a school, but because of the way that the lines are drawn, you have to go to a school across town.
Oh, fuck that.
That's Ohio for you, honey.
Like, that's, literally, like, you could live a block... This is what happened to Shell. She lived 3 blocks away from a high school, but because of the way that the lines are drawn within the city, she had to take a bus.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Mimi, it is on Adam Ruins Everything, but it's also explained really in detail without any sarcastic humor, not downing Adam's show or whatever, but...
you want it without the comedy.
But with, like, straight solid facts, and how they figured it out, and how they developed the projects, and
Trump also said he never made a racist comment.
Yeah, he did.
That was a shit show.
Shithole countries.
But this is like the first interview that he did without being like on the tarmac, as he's leaving.
And Bree
says, I got better things.
Bree says also, I think wording is a problem in the bills people are voting for. For example, the trans bill where it states defining gender is based on your genitalia. People who aren't familiar with anyone transgender, not transgendered. Take off the ED. Anyone transgender would read that and be like, well, duh, yeah, that makes sense. The bill doesn't say who it's affecting or how it would change if people if implemented. Bill should have pros and cons listed to the wording.
I can contest to that. I felt like even the ones I was educated on, I was like, I've read about...
I had to Google a lot.
Yeah. I was like, what does this mean?
They're designed to confuse you, which is why they have the ads that are like, well, this is going to hurt my family if you do this. It's like, but is it really? Is it really, though? And it's like, that's why it needs to, like, the bills and propositions need to be done in
plain
fucking English.
Say yes if you want this to happen.
A yes
Even
will
bullet
say
points.
this,
you
this.
need 3 bullet points.
A no will say this.
Exactly.
Period. It doesn't need to be if then this will be this, and then hereby the third of heard.
But if you vote, then this could happen, and I'm like, oh damn, what?
It's like, what? No.
But it sounds like the first sentence.
Right. Like, just tell me exactly.
Even explaining.
If you say all it needs to say is a yes on this will say a 3%. Tax hike on this, $2,000 more per month being allocated to this, and this. Okay. No will mean taxes will stay the same, this will happen, and this will happen.
It can't be that easy.
Period. Like, it doesn't need to be 16 pages of this, though.
That booklet was cute, but I had to go on Google and figure out what a lot of these props, the yes or no meant.
And it's fucking dumb.
I got really friendly with a website called, like, Ballotpedia. Is that what it's called?
Is it a person? Was it like Wikipedia where anyone
Right,
can
where
edit
it just got...
I don't think so. But it explained things very well.
Okay.
The renewable energy proposition was a
Bitch.
fucking... That was like...
I was like, do I say yes? Do I say
Do I
no?
want to say yes to Scottsdale Streets? I don't
Like,
know.
it's right? Like, it's like,
I don't know. Look, I don't live in Scottsdale. I don't care about their streets.
Right.
Shit.
But it
They
basically
go for
like goes
themselves.
through all the stuff that is like
Ah.
affecting that state.
Oh.
You can look it up by state.
Yeah, it was...
The more you know.
Yeah.
I should have shared it. I'm so sorry.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, it's like...
I already voted.
It's... Right here. We are... Thanks, Felicia, for that
Thanks,
help. We
Felicia.
appreciate it.
I hope I voted right, because
Right.
now I'm doubting everything I did.
Right? So, it's...
That's why
it's-
friends are fighting, because they can't read the bills.
Right.
They're like, fuck, I don't know what this means.
Yes!
But just
No.
remember that even though we didn't get a full blue sweep of the House and the Senate,
Some
having-
people were
Not some
mad.
water.
having
Sorry.
I like to reclaim
having
my
a
time.
blue house is big because it puts things back into balance. Having a red house and a red Senate basically meant that there was
It's
no
like having
there was no
diarrhea
balance.
at the White House.
Like there was nothing
No, the
to
bathroom doors are locked.
like there were no checks and balances. There were no nothing. It was just whatever the fuck
Here, let your friend do
the
this.
Republicans wanted, they got.
Executive orders.
Right.
Here, let your
So
woman do that.
now that the House is blue, there can at least be some degree of cock blocking because it needs to happen. The Republicans need to understand that they can't just go all willy-nilly and do whatever the fuck they want anymore. We now have minorities and women and people
Who around the
who
world?
will be looking out for the interests of immigrants and women and things like that. So there's going to be a change, and as like I would love to see more people actually vote for some of the independent parties because it'll throw things out of whack. It will. Oh fuck.
Yeah.
She didn't.
Yeah. God damn it.
Stacey Abrams had my heart, though, man. History's gonna catch up
Georgia,
with
you
black
done
women.
fucked up. Isn't Georgia majority of like? Isn't the population majority black?
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
What was their issue?
Like-
if your signature on your ID didn't match your voter's signature.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Or if there was a misspelling. I have one of those beautiful names that get misspelled in IDs all the time. My last name is either hyphenated or they forget the period or...
Georgia is 59.7 white American. Only 30.5% of Georgia is black. or
Really?
African
That's
American.
surprising. Actually, I thought that
We
I
got the
honestly,
hell out in the 60s.
Right? They're like, out!
We out! Jim Crow was
Yeah,
done.
Georgia was fucked up this election, and I think it has to do with the fact that there was a black woman on the ballot, and I think that...
And ooh, baby, she scored him some.
Yeah.
She.
But like
She
I said,
cut it down
I
real
would
quick.
honestly, I would really love to see more, either nonpartisan or whatever, like legitimate contenders show up on ballots. Like I would love to see more independents show up and actually get votes and actually
That's
talk to
why I'm
people.
saying. I said
And-
it last time. If you are feeling like you need to be involved in politics,
Do it.
Do it.
please.
Do it, do it, do it.
Exactly. Do
Like-
it. Do it. Stop waiting. Get involved. Be on your city council. Be somewhere
Right.
involved.
I think Tunza nominated me for Senate last night.
Oh, good.
Right, so I'm gonna be running
I don't
for
know
Senate.
if you could handle that.
Please don't.
Oh, that's gonna be like people at work. Can we do this? No. How about no? How about
Just see your name.
What
on
did
the
I
paper.
say?
My
What
name
is
Says
it?
no to
My
everything.
name is... No.
Right, that's gonna be no.
What's the drinking
No.
game Bree wants to know?
Ah.
Well, it is like past 9 o'clock, so
Third world drink, everyone.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
have
Oh,
we killed
fuck.
people?
So, right, we have
I hope you all are at home and
Right.
safe and...
Phoenix LGBTQ community suddenly an influx of alcohol poisoning on Wednesday night.
I'm for
Listen.
be safe out, so
Right. They're at home.
please
So-
be responsible. Don't hurt yourself.
They're
Don't
at
hurt
home.
anybody else.
Right.
Don't drink
It's
and
fine.
drive.
It's cool.
What else am I supposed to say?
I don't know. It's cool.
Don't wake up in front of the bar.
Don't go home with strangers, unless you tell a buddy where you're going,
If you want to send like a drunk text, Freddy is more than willing to accept them.
Nobody ever sends me drunk texts or like
for some reason, drunk me likes to text Coco.
Really
and
weird.
send voice messages.
Felicia got wasted and like drunk tested everybody, but not me. I don't know if I should be offended.
Joke's on you, I always drink like this, girl.
Well, we know.
Straight out the bottle, I see.
With a curly straw. Yeah.
I'm a fish floating in a whiskey.
So,
okay.
So we've had a good conversation tonight. I think this was good.
Oh, good.
I think this was good.
Mm-hmm.
Coco, what have you got coming up besides? I know you've got. I know you're moving, but I know you do have a couple shows and stuff happening.
Yeah. So tomorrow you can catch me. I've been saying it's my last Phoenix show, but technically I picked up another one Saturday. So it's my last show with Chill Pill and the Chill Pill Collective tomorrow at Volt, 10:30. It is a 90s throwback, honey, and I'm giving a little bit of Aaliyah, so big swoops and everything like that. So it's by
Were you guys all born in the 90s?
I
was
sure the
looking
hell
at that. I was like, throwback.
Established 1991, honey.
Oh, God.
Where were you in 91?
Why do you do that?
Where were you? I do this to Des all the damn time.
In 91, I was in first grade.
Okay.
91,
Okay.
I would have been. Wait, when's your birthday again?
January. Capricorn.
I still would have been. I would have been 5th grade going into 6th grade.
Yeah. So I will
That
be.
sounds about right.
Be at
No,
Chill
6th
Pill
grade going
tomorrow.
into 90. I was born in 79.
Ooh.
Oh.
Date yourself.
I know.
Where was I in 79?
Fuck off. So you've got
much.
Chill Pill tomorrow.
What's the gig on Saturday?
The gig on Saturday, I'm helping out, Trans Queer Pueblo, for a benefit that they're doing
Nice.
Where's
at
that?
Carambas.
Oh.
That is an early show at 6 o'clock, honey, with the kids. Coco love the kids. But I actually got to do makeup for them while living here and
Nice.
show a little techniques to the baby queens and kings. So that was
awesome.
fun. So it was my last little
Maintain
giving
your
back initiative while I'm here. And
Mm.
you can catch me on Instagram and Facebook just being cunty as fuck. I wanted to read Phoenix, but I think I might wait until I leave.
she
To
just got
do
booked.
that.
We can video you in when you leave.
But yeah, just video me and
I can
You know
do that.
what? It won't even be like a reading Phoenix or Arizona type thing. It'll just be who didn't get unfriended by Coco.
Right.
Secretly, my wife is already unfriending a lot of y'all. Not y'all, but other motherfuckers. But yeah, Thursday.
I feel like everybody's
Please.
going to.
But
Oh, Micah wants you to read.
But for sure, check Messenger before you leave Felicia's. Oh, Lord. But yeah, for sure, please come out to Chill Pill tomorrow if you can. It's my last official gig in Phoenix.
I told
Oh,
you.
that's what you mean by
I-
last gig.
I told you if I had a show I'd book you, but I don't. So.
But
Why don't you?
I just want to thank Phoenix for always at least listening to like what I've had to say,
What?
even if you don't always agree with it or you try to gaslight me into thinking differently. Yeah. If I give any advice to Phoenix and Arizona, it's don't gaslight your passionate and woke individuals. You know why? Because then you'll end up with 4 anorexic bitches doing 6 shows across town everywhere else.
Oh, on the same show flyer?
On the
What?
same show flyer. That's
the
what
same
you'll end up
numbers,
with.
just bar.
Or you'll end up with the same bitter Betty queens who refuse to give any word or any love to their newer performers or their more outspoken. And I don't even think I'm outspoken.
It's not even the newer performers. It's performers
Hi,
that
Omega.
either don't fit into the box or
don't fit into the
whatever.
box or
I never have fit into a box.
or don't want to compete for them. That's my one thing.
Oh God.
Not all of us want to compete against each other. Some of us want to just live and be fucking fabulous. Okay? If I could have had any wish of living in here in these past 2.5 years, it's that I never had to feel like I had to compete. You know why? Because there's no one above or below me, honey. We're all even.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot.
Except me.
I mean, whoever's on my block list is below me, but and look, if you're on my block list, hey, good to see you, boo. I'll miss you.
Oh my
Mwah.
God.
But
Oh, we're not petty at all here. We are not petty. No,
16.
not petty at all. Not at all.
But,
you
yeah.
are petty, just like 6
yeah,
feet
if I give any
under.
advice to this city, is that I hope what other Cocos come in are accepted and not nearly broken down, honey. Cause
How do you mean other Cocos? Do you mean like
People like
other people like me? Hell, even if there's another girl named Coco, I hope she doesn't go through 2.5 years being called the Black Coco.
Shit.
Whoa, you didn't tell me that.
Wow. Are you surprised?
I'm Coco authentic, people. Okay.
Are you surprised?
Coco comes out looking like this.
Am I surprised?
But
no.
yeah.
But am I?
But other people like me, other Cocos.
Oh,
you know, other cunty kittens.
Whatever you just said.
And then you
drinking
are.
too.
Oh Jesus! And then you're heading to.
Stay woke, Miss Bree.
Fuck.
Yes.
And then you're heading to Austin next Thursday, correct?
Next Thursday, I'm heading to Austin.
Which I'm excited about. When I came back from Austin last year, I told both of them. I was like, you need to come with me.
He's a little excited.
Like, I was like, because and let me tell you why. I know we're over, but let me tell you why.
Coco's trying to kill us.
I came back from Austin last year, and after being in such an accepting environment with people that were not pageant queens, people that were out of the box, people that did all the different things, I was like, you guys, you both need to come with me. That was the first thing I said, was you need to come with me next year.
If I'm excited about anything, it's... Like, I've been to DragCon LA 2 years in a row.
It's different, though.
DragCon is fun as fuck. I get to meet all my little Kiki sisters. We get to hang out. But what's the one thing missing from a weekend full of drag? Performing. So the fact that I get to meet new sisters and brothers and Kiki with all these new people, as well as performing and possibly making some money while I'm out there, like, that's icing on the cake. So I don't know.
And this is also, oh, Jesus.
6 beers.
And this is also.
I finished my wine with all those claps.
Austin is more inclusive than DragCon for sure. Like for sure.
The fact that there's a drag king day, like I'm just excited.
King Fest.
King Fest on Thursday.
Yeah. I'm just excited to get hit on by a lot of drag kings.
They're telling us.
Oh, I told him to show.
So,
should we reveal it now?
I did see you, Miss Bree. It's the only time
I
we
have
saw
a
each other,
show
too.
at C7 on Friday. I'm going to be hanging out at Espresso's show.
Will you let her know that she didn't message me back? Because she's supposed to message me back to see if I was supposed to be booked with her.
I won't tell her, for God's sakes.
Unless she watches the video.
Look, if I can give anything, if someone says they're going to book you and to message them, they ain't. They most definitely ain't.
So I'm with Espresso at C7, 10:30. So book your tables and come see me. Please come see me. Shit. Fuck.
You can't read this yet.
God damn it.
You have to finish out the set.
Not the clap, though.
Now that we know.
Felicia, do you have anything? And then I leave for Austin on Tuesday. So
I leave Thursday. So tell your friends they need a guest
I leave
spot,
on Tuesday too.
I leave on Tuesday.
They leave on Tuesday, but
we're gonna be exploring.
Do you have anything going on between now and?
I just told you I don't have no bookings.
Okay, you don't have no bookings. Never mind.
Damn.
So we would like to.
I'll put my PayPal up later if you want to take
right.
me.
Or you can go find us on Patreon.
No, I'm trying to get my own travel money.
Bitch, whatever. Thank you so much to all of our sponsors. ShellyLoveCreative.com, WigsOfAKind.com, TheBurlyBarbers.com, and special thank you to our supporters on Patreon, Brandon, Leanne, Carrie, Patricia, and Molly. And make sure you find us on Patreon.com/Let'sHaveAFefe. Thank you to Coco for doing Felicia's face. Thank God. At least one time.
What is that?
You can find
green light.
Green light. Follow me,
oh my
kids.
God. You can find Coco at the THEE Coco Bardot on Instagram. Go find her.
Yeah, keep my
yeah.
If you need makeup, drag or non-drag makeup done from now until I leave, our move date is officially December 6th. Hit me up. I got a baby to take care of and to, help nurture, and Mama needs money for Austin so she can drink. Hey.
Yeah, right. That's right. Come see me at C7 on Friday.
Him and send money to her PayPal.
I need some. Yeah.
We need some money.
I need to eat in Austin, so if y'all could, that would be awesome.
If you want to feed me, if you want to help the drag community at all,
for $3 a day, you too
can help a drag in the arms of an angel.
Oh
my God! Clap. Yes.
Oh shit. Oh my god. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure that you share with your friends and your frenemies and everybody on Coco's block list.
Share it with everyone on my block list, you know.
Right.
If they're old.
Hashtag Coco wanted you to see this.
If they're old and probably have a show at Charlie's,
Ah!
they're on my block list. Or Stacy. Or bearded. I'm kidding.
Yes, I did figure out what I did figure out what I was doing. Thank you. All my music is already sent to Austin.
Thank you guys.
I'm good.
Wish us
Thanks.
luck.
So.
I'm not saying I'm nervous for Austin.
And
just I hope they like me.
They will. They're gonna fucking love
I
you.
hope
I promise.
they're all gonna laugh at you.
And
That's always my
tune
thought.
in next week for new drinking rules.
We'll be in Austin next week.
Yes. So Felicia
We'll
and I.
Thank you for these drinking rules.
Felicia and I will probably do a normal Let's Have a Fefe next Wednesday from Austin. And then Saturday during the day, we're going to have a very special Let's Have a Fefe. So hopefully you guys will tune in for that too. That could be interesting in terms of drinking. Day drinking! Hey!
Yeah. Oh.
So,
do they serve alcohol? Oh, we talked about that later. What I want to say is thank you to the people that are listening to us on iTunes. There's... it told me now there's 8 to 10 people listening per week. So I will continue to put the audio up there if you're listening. If you guys stop listening, I'm not putting it up there. I'm not going to even waste my time.
Fuck off, Tasha.
Oh.
This is awkward. She gonna kick your ass.
So follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And thanks to all of you who watched live and on the replay. And we'll see you next week. Live from Austin.
Yes.
Bye, cunty kitties.
Good night, y'all. Thanks for watching.
I
We'll see
can't
you
turn
next
it
week.
off.
Oh, God.
I'm
Push
ready
the
to...
button.
Oh, my God.